I think we need another big. I feel like I've always been at my best when I've been the four. And having the big out there, we know it worked when we won the championship with JaVale and Dwight. I'm at the five and I'm at the four. I think our 1920 team was like the perfect construction of a team. We had shooters, we had dogs defensively, we had scorers. We knew like everybody who knew their role.
What's good, Lakers Corner family, and welcome back to another video. If you're a returner, it's good to see you. If you're new, make sure to smash that subscribe button, because over here we talk all things Lakers. And today we're going to talk about that statement y'all just seen by my boy Anthony Davis, what that statement means, and we're going to look at some potential trade targets that the Lakers are looking at and should be looking at. And we're going to talk about their fit on this team. And I'm going to finish this video by telling y'all who I would prefer out of all these rumored targeted players that the Lakers can go after. But let's go ahead and get into this video by talking about what this move means, because this was actually such a powerful move, and a power move by AD, man. We're talking about Anthony Davis, a 31-year-old superstar who's technically in his prime, in his peak of his career when you take everything into account. And he just publicly made it known and publicly said, yo, I want to be paired with another big. I want to go back to that 2020 roster construction. And you know what that does, y'all? Publicly doing that puts the ball in Rob Pelinka's court. It puts the ball in Jeanie Buss's court. It puts the ball on the entire Lakers front office and the entire Lakers organization. It puts the ball in their court. It says, yo, I, as your superstar, have delivered. I've came here, helped bring a championship. And now I am asking for something for us to be able to, make something work going forward. Are you going to do it, or are you not going to do it? And Lakers organization, I mean, we know Rob Pelinka, Jeanie Buss, they're running this thing like a joke. They're not running this thing like a real organization, a real team trying to win. They're running this like a damn business. And it's a sad part. And the crazy thing is, now I want to see, what are they going to do? Are they going to be try to run this thing like a business and be frugal with their money and not put their money where their mouth is and not show up for their superstar and do what they've done for the past? Or are they going to show up for their superstar and put their money where their mouth is and show AD that he's backed? And if they don't, every other player guaranteed is going to make note of that when it comes time for free agency, man, because these little things matter organization-wise. So I just wanted to talk about that before I get into some trade targets. But we're going to start with one of the names that I've heard a lot going around, rumored targeted players here for the Lakers, and that's Nikola Vucevic, man. Right now averaging 20 points per game, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. But the great part and the best thing about Vooch is he's shooting 40% from the three-point line and shooting 55% from the field. So he fits right in on the offensive end, and he matches the coaching philosophy that JJ Redick has. I talk about this all the time. Your players have to match your coaching philosophy, right? JJ Redick loves players who can stretch the floor, who can shoot the three ball. That's exactly what Vooch does. Vooch loves to shoot the three ball. He actually scores on all three levels. I'll be honest with you guys. He can score in the low block, right? He can score down low. He actually has great post work, and he can be another reliable big for the Lakers. We know when the game slows down a little bit comes playoff. He can hit the mid-range jumper. He's got that. He's got the turnaround. He's got the face-up. And as mentioned, like I said, shooting 40% from the three-point line this season, and in his career shooting 35% from the three-point line. And remember, we're talking about a 6'11" big here. And Vucevic would also, I ain't gonna lie, he would also provide the Lakers another great rebounder, averaging 10-plus rebounds every year ever since his sophomore season. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Personally, I would not go with Vucevic because basketball's got to be played on both ends. Offensively, he fits right in, fits like a glove. I just mentioned, he stretches the floor. He gives AD the chance to be able to, come out more and stretch the floor as well. He gives Bron more of lanes because he stretches the floor so much and whatnot, more spacing. But like I said, basketball's got to be played on both ends, and Vooch is a defensive liability in the regular season on the perimeter. So come playoffs, he's just going to get targeted more and more and more. So for me personally, I don't think it's worth the investment going after Vooch because he's also going to come with a hefty price tag, and we got to remember that the salary cap stays in play here. Another name that I do want to get into that I've heard a lot is Jonas Valanciunas, man, right now averaging 11 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 56% from the field. And he's the opposite of Vooch, right? So Vooch, for us, is going to be great in the offensive end, terrible in the defensive end. Valanciunas is going to be great for us and a perfect fit on the defensive end. In fact, the Lakers would actually have elite rim protection if we had AD and Valanciunas, because now we're talking about, two twin towers out there. Valanciunas, big, hefty guy, 6'11", 275, y'all. AD, 6'11", 260. We're talking about two hefty guys protecting the rim when we already have some good defense. So this would not only help the Lakers as a team overall, but it really bolster that defensive end. This would also help the Lakers from getting killed on the glass on the second chance points. Second chance points have been a killer for the Lakers so far this season, because a lot of the times they get outmatched, they get out hustled, and bringing in Valanciunas next to AD would clear up a lot of that problem. But the thing is, on the offensive end, he doesn't really provide what Vooch provides. Doesn't really stretch the floor. Doesn't really match JJ's coaching philosophy at all. He really would just clog up the paint, and just bringing in Valanciunas would definitely solidify our defense. Like I said, it would bring in a solid vet. But in my opinion, he just doesn't fit the team well enough. So to me, it would also be a no. But let's talk about another name that I've heard a lot going around. Robert Williams III, Time Lord, man. And I'm going to be honest, I've heard this name going around a lot. And I just don't understand why in the world we are even looking to go after this guy, or should go after this guy. Respectfully, he should be a last resort type of player, especially with our current situation. And we're not in last resort option just yet. Hopefully we don't even get there. And I think, Time Lord he's one of those players, because let's look at it. He isn't nearly as an offensive threat as Vooch or Valanciunas. Right now, Rob averaging only 5 points per game. And his career has never averaged more than 10 points per game. Not that we're asking you to come in and be a scorer. We have that. But the biggest thing of all, y'all, is availability. I say this all the time. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and know that I say this around here a lot. Availability is your best ability, y'all. What is your best ability? Availability, y'all. Come on. Get right with me. He played 6 games last year, y'all, because of a knee injury. And then this year, he's only played 12 games so far because of an ankle and hamstring injury. These things is all related. One injury triggers another injury, and then he can't strengthen that muscle, and then it triggers that injury. And what makes us think this is going to change? The most games this man's played in his NBA career has been 61. Nothing's going to change. And I just think, in my opinion, it's just not worth the risk. Which brings us to the last player that we have here, who I've heard going around in targeted rumors. I've heard going around Lakers could go after this player. And right now we're just talking about centers here, because that's what my boy AD wants. My boy AD wants a center. My boy AD wants to play that 4. And to me, in my opinion, out of all the names I've heard, none is better to me than Clint Capella. Right now, he's actually averaging a career low, 9 points per game and 9 rebounds. But let's remember, y'all, in basketball, the numbers are not black and white. And let's remember that the Hawks have been really trying to fade him out of the lineup, who he's actually now completely out of the lineup. And they got Yoneko, and I don't know, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name or I butchered your name, the guy from Chino Hills with LaMelo in them. And they've been trying to get Clint Capella out of the picture because he's getting older, 30 years old. But that doesn't mean that a change of scenario and a change of roles, which if he came to the Lakers, that's exactly what it would be. That doesn't mean that couldn't just change everything, because he does fit a lot of our needs. Not all of them, and we're gonna address it. But let's look at the fits. Let's look at the needs that he does fit. As far as a fit on this team on the defensive end, he immediately makes us 10x better. I mean, throughout his career, he's averaged 1.5 blocks per game every single season, and even now at 30 years old, like I mentioned, I know this is a young man's league. 30 years old is a little bit up there, but he's not old, and he's still averaging 1.3 blocks per game. And if he can't block it, he alters it. If I know anybody else that statement, matches, is Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis can't block it, he alters it. So can you imagine if you have a Anthony Davis and a Clint Capella out there who, if they're not blocking your shot, they are altering it. It reminds me of a 2020 roster construction with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis. Because if they weren't blocking it, they were making you alter your shot. They were making you think twice. And Clint Capella also has the ability to switch onto most guards in the perimeter, so he can't be targeted like the Vooches of the world, like the Robert Williams of the world, who can get targeted out there on the perimeter. But Clint Capella, he can switch, so he can't just be put out on the island. And on the offensive end, let's look at the fit on the offensive end. He's going to be a big time pick and roll threat. And in my opinion, he was actually Trae Young's best pick and roll partner he's ever had. I mean, let's see what Jalen Johnson here. Jalen Johnson's been doing a great job, and he's elevating into a great player. Shout out to him. But Clint Capella was holding that throne for a very long time because of his elite rolling to the rim abilities and that lob threat that he is. Now, LeBron James coming off the pick and roll. LeBron James making a decision out of that pick and roll. That's a scary sight. And if you have a LeBron James who has the ability to go in his bag with an AD pick and roll, AD going to the hoop, or Clint Capella and LeBron pick and roll, that's going to be tight. And if y'all really want to get complex here, we could talk about let's say LeBron and AD run a high pick and roll at the top, right? Boom, run a high pick and roll. You got AD rolling to the hoop. And if you put Clint Capella in that far corner, let's say that the pick and roll started on the right side of the court, you put Clint Capella on that far right side of the court. And as soon as you got LeBron bringing the ball coming downhill with the defender on his hip off of that pick and roll, AD rolling to the hoop, and you can have Clint Capella cutting backside. Ooh, man. It's a lot of options out of that, man. We could get real complex with this. And let's talk about his durability because he's always available. What did I say, y'all? What did I say your best ability is? Availability. And guess what? He has been available. At 30 years old, he's played every game so far this season. And let's look at the fact that this move right here not only gives us that big to put next to Anthony Davis, not only does it suffice what our big man is asking for in Anthony Davis, what our star is asking for in Anthony Davis, but it also gives us insurance because Anthony Davis inevitably is going to miss some games, whether it's because he wants to, whether it's because of real injury. And when he does, we have a backup big who can, start alongside of him, but also, go ahead and take that place of him when Anthony Davis doesn't want to show up for whatever reason. And because of the age and because he is, declining in his career, I do think we could get him for a cheaper price. So because of all that, I personally would go with Clint Capella out of all these people. So y'all let me know in the comment section down below, man. Who do y'all have? Like, who do y'all want? Is it another big that I didn't mention on here? Comment below. Let me know their names. Let me know their fit on this team. And let me know if y'all think I'm tripping about, one clink. Beggars can't be choosers. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna come in here and say we're gonna get Giannis. We gotta be real with where we are and the assets that we have to be able to make something happen. Because we don't have a lot of assets to make something happen. Got a whole bunch of second round picks and we got some players that they aren't very desirable around the league. But the city of LA and California is very desirable. And playing with LeBron James for a chance to win it all. I don't know if this team has a chance, but we will need a big to have a chance. Lakers Nation, I love you boys, and I'm out.